Okay, so good to know. So I think let's just start Nir. I think the intro
Great.
was just the beginning.
You had some announcements you had to make, or is that okay?
Yeah, Itai, do you want to share about the upcoming event?
Yeah, sure. So hey everyone, good evening. Next week on Tuesday at 8:30, there's gonna be the next webinar. We're gonna announce it tomorrow. The speaker is going to be Kyle Norton. He's the CRO of a company that's called Owner.com, and he's going to speak about scale go-to-market teams across the world and the 7 principles of successfully being a VP of Sales and CRO. His whole method is going to speak about that. We're going to announce it soon. That's it. Second back to you.
Let's go. Mafal, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's almost 2 a.m. here, and I think seeing what's happening with this amazing group of people at Rev.Hub, I have a feeling, just a feeling, that in a couple of months we are probably going to launch, or will have to launch, a podcast. And some of you will be the first guests, I assume. And you know how it is. We're going to invite you and we'll say, hey, nice to meet you. How's it going? Would you do us a favor and tell us a little bit about yourself? What some of you might know as a blurb. I'm going to ask you to take 2 minutes, write 3 lines, Google Doc, pen and paper, whatever you have. 3 lines. How would you present yourself on that podcast? And I'm going to time you. So take 2 minutes and please write anything you want, 3 lines. I see some of you are sweating. Don't worry about it. You don't have to read it out loud if you don't want to. Don't worry. You have it and you think it's good, raise your hand. Always start with that. 30 seconds. It's your whole life in 3 sentences. I love the smile. In time. Please take a look at what you've written. For most of you, it is the first time you're writing a blurb about yourself. For those of you who don't know, we use a blurb in so many different occasions when we talk about the tech industry, but a blurb is actually a short promotional piece, something that accompanies a piece of creative work. The term was actually coined in 1906. It goes on what you attach to a book to sell it better. It's not just something out of the blue. I'll ask you to look carefully at what you've written. Do you think it's interesting? Do you think it's relevant? If I'll give you 2 more minutes, will it become a bit better? So now we do this. Take a look at what you've written. And all you need to do is this. Circle everything that is data. And please underline everything that is emotion. And look at how many things we've just added as a list, the grocery list of the things we've done, and not necessarily something I can feel for the first time, and now I have to listen to you for another 55 minutes on a podcast. If you'll take another look, you'll see and you'll understand that this is how we communicate. One of the most interesting things when we talk about sales is when people say, don't worry about it. I prefer to improvise. I know what I'm doing. I don't know exactly the audience. I'll wing it. I'll see how it goes. We'll be ready. But in fact, that is an odd thing to do, to improvise. Even the best comedians, Seinfeld, for example, practices everything. When they go on stage, they don't know who's sitting in front of them. All they know is that they've practiced the joke so many times, they know exactly how the joke is going to play out. And that's where we say, are we really ready? Did we really write our pitch? In today's session, we don't have a lot of time, so here are the things we're going to do. We're going to talk a little bit about why you must write in order to become better at sales and pitching. We'll talk a little bit about how your audience actually think and why it's not based on the way we operate today when we go into a meeting. We'll talk a little bit about what's the trailer pitch, how to create a good hook. Don't worry, we'll practice. And at the end, I promise to give you a few good tips that you can actually implement into your pitching tomorrow. If that's good, we can move forward. So you see, it's an interesting thing. Sorry about that. It's an interesting thing. A famous quote that I really love from Winston Churchill, when he was asked to speak, he said, if you need me to talk for 2 minutes, I need 3 weeks. If you need me to speak for 30 minutes, I need a week. If you need me to speak for an hour, I can just start now. Pitching and writing works in every industry you can imagine, and I've done it from 4.0 heavy industry to cybersecurity to different types of sales to here. I'll tell you something, we even did it and won a competition, the International Patron competition for tequila. You see, when they go to the competition to present a cocktail, the most important thing, 40%, is actually the story they tell. Before everything else, 40% is the story they tell. It is the ability to put something in people's mind, to sell anything we want in any way we want. But the problem is we rely so much on the slides, on improvising, on it'll be okay, we'll wing it, that we are forgetting one of the key, the most important things when we present. You, my friends, are the presentation. And if you are not ready, if you don't know how you want to behave and how you want to control everything, how can you move? We can't. You see, I started my sales actually in snowboards. And you know how it is in Israel, when there's 10 months of sun, selling snowboards is never an easy thing. But once you understand that we didn't sell the snowboard, we sold the mountain, we sold the vacation, we sold everything else, that's how it works. But if I'll take away everything, what do you have? What are you actually left with? For most of us, we don't have enough. But you see, if you are the presentation, when we speak, when we do the sale, the actual sale, everything relies on the way we communicate. But only 7% is actually what we say. And I assume some of you have heard this data and this number. 7% is what we say. Everything else is the nonverbal communication. My intonation, the way I move my hands, everything else is 93%. The problem is we forgot that the 7% is the spine. That is how we control how everything else moves. Without that, we're lost. Now I'll ask you, when was the last time you wrote your pitch? And in today's session, we're focusing on the most important part of presenting what you actually do. What is your service? What does your company do? Why should I be interested at the end to ask for more? And the most important thing here is writing. Words matter. At the cocktail competition, when they present and they say it's a bit salty, it's sour, you should feel the tastes of, what do we say? Oh, yes, I feel it. I know what you're talking about. in fact, we can implant everything we want into our audience. And some of you might say, listen, but it doesn't work exactly like that. And it varies from industry to country. In the last 2 years, I've traveled and spoken these presentations in 40 different countries. The most interesting thing is we are all the same. It is universal. We all have the same 6 facial recognitions. We are people all over the world, and we behave the same way. True, there are cultural differences. The good news is you can teach that. So don't worry, that can be taught. But there are 4 key elements on how people actually communicate. And if we flip it from selling them the data and why is it good for them, and talking completely in a different way, and actually even measuring that, guess what? Magic happens. We can control that. So if we understand that we want to control the audience, the first and the most important thing in the way that they actually communicate is emotions. And that's how everything happens. I don't know how many of you have heard this amazing story. A journalist a few years back decided to test the power of storytelling. He did a simple thing, went on eBay and purchased about 200 pieces, same as this horse head that he purchased. It's a small thing, and he purchased that for $1. He then went out and asked different people to write different stories about these things. He uploaded them again to eBay, and guess what? The same horse head sold for $63. You see, when I meet startups or companies all over the world, and it doesn't matter their size, their business, their industry, I don't change anything. I don't change the product, the service, the team. When we pitch to raise funds, we don't change how much they want. The only thing we change is their story. That means that if the message is done correctly, we can actually control everything. So if we want to sell the feeling before anything else, you need to control it. And I'll ask you, when was the last time you went into a meeting and said, here's the list of emotions for the sales tomorrow, for the pitch? Most of us don't even do that. Why? Because we'll bounce off how they feel instead of controlling what they have. The most amazing outcome could be for a sales pitch is what? When we say, hey, how did the sales go? The meeting went well, and they'll say, no, it went exactly as planned. But in order to do that, we need to know what are the emotions we want to convey to the people. And you see, the next thing is actually the experiences. If it's okay with you guys, I'd like to do an exercise. Can you guys open your cameras for a second, and I'll call whomever I can see. I want to tell you a short story, if that's okay with you guys. Let's do it. Let's see if I can find you. Great. I'm going to tell you a short story. Nofar, I'll start with you, and then I'll go with whomever I can see on the video, if that's okay. You're ready? You can open your mic?
Yeah,
Amazing.
sure.
Great. It's a short story, guys. Listen carefully. There are a lot of details in this short story. A man walks into a bar. I'll repeat the story. A man walks into a bar. Nofar, what type of a bar is it?
Dark bar.
Dog bar. Okay. Amir Lavi, how are you? Great.
Very good. How are you? I was muted. Sorry.
No worries. Who is he meeting, the man?
Sorry?
Who is he meeting? The man that walks into a bar.
He's meeting a lady with a dark hat.
Amazing. Alisa Mesh, what type of music is there?
Jazz music, very slow,
music.
very comfortable
Amazing.
and cozy.
Oh, I like it. Thank you. Aya, with a great smile. Is the place packed? Are there a lot of people or not? Aya? Can you hear me? I'll go. Noam, you here? Yes, you. Great. What is he wearing, the man?
Sorry, very packed. I was mute.
Yeah, so is the place packed? Packed. Great. Noam, what is he wearing, please?
Yeah, I was out of it. Sorry.
A man walks into a bar. What is the man wearing?
Um, black suit. I don't know.
Black suit. Thank you. And let's do a last one. Itai, please, guest of honor. What is he drinking?
Gin tonic.
Gin tonic. And last question for you, Itai. Why are they meeting?
Because they want to discuss a merger between both the companies.
A merge between both companies. I appreciate it. Thank you. The most interesting thing is I have never had, in the 1,000 times I've told this story, the same story. People will always go back to the experience they have, a jazz, a place they like, something they like to drink, something they know, something they've just dealt with, like a merge or anything else. We are able to give people the idea of something and put them in that place. Working with a startup that was helping airlines lose less luggage, okay? I don't own an airline, and none of the VCs that were sitting in the meeting owned an airline. But we can all understand what it means and how it feels when we land and we're waiting and we're looking at that belt and we're like, yeah, that's not mine. Vacation's gone. Vacation, they lost my luggage. We can feel that. Even now, when I'll tell you, you all know what it feels like to stand in front of that belt. So that means we can control the experiences. And if we can control that, the next thing is we don't need to tell them everything. In a short pitch, all we need is to make sure that they can fill the gaps. In 2012, I launched my first novel. It was a big thing for me, and I was walking around the streets and I met someone I knew, and she said, I love your book. It's great. By the way, chapter 4, the bar where you talk about, I love it. We go there all the time. And I said, I understand, but that's not the bar. And we're standing there, Dizengoff Street, arguing whether it's that bar or not. Mind you, I wrote the book. And you see, the problem is now it's not mine, it's theirs. The audience will fill the gap any way they want. So you don't need to tell them everything, but you need to make sure you tell them just enough that you can control the message. And what is a book at the end of the day? Huh? White page, black ink. The audience controls everything. They imagine the dragon or the ship or the pirate or the submarines. You need to understand what you told them and what you want them to take away from them. And funny enough, only the last thing will be the data. Now, no, I'm not telling you to go all in storytelling mode and go all fluff, and that's not it. But we need to season what we do with the data. We don't go in with everything data. The problem is people opt out. Regardless of what we say, even if they need it, even if they want it, if we didn't sell them the emotion and help them understand step by step that they're on the right path to make the right decision, they will opt out. And we know this because one of the things I teach is that the best sale is a no sale. I don't need them to buy. I just need them to be interested enough to join me on the journey. And if I do it correctly in a short amount of time, guess what? They want more. And I'm not specifically focused on this session and the short pitch on selling, but rather just creating enough interest. A few years ago, I worked with a cybersecurity company where people would go in and they really needed the service the company had. The only problem is when they met the company, they were so proud about everything they do, they told them everything and every option. All of you know that company, by the way. What we had to do is to tell more story, less data, and help them find and bridge the gap when they said, so you can do this? Yes, I'm interested. The change was very, very quick. And the reason is we didn't change the product that was good. We didn't change the need. We actually learned that the salespeople are going on mode of overkill. You know who does the pitching the best in the world? And I love it. I don't know about you, but I love going to the movies. I love going to them. And I'll sit there before the movies start and the trailers come on. And every time there's a trailer, it's the James Bond. I love James Bond. And I'll sit there and I'll watch the trailer. And you know what's interesting? It's 3 minutes. And at the end, I'm excited. I want to know more. I didn't commit. I didn't give them money. I didn't make a promise. All I said, when this movie comes out, I'm interested. And if it's really good, I'll go and watch and read about it. And I know a little bit more. Taking that concept, I did the same thing for the pitching. And that's what I call the trailer pitch. I explained that in the book, where we don't need to sell everything. All we need to do is have 3 minutes when we need to explain about who we are, what we do, and why is this interesting, not more. And some of you will go on the meetings, which will be between 30 minutes and an hour, and that's great. And I have a different concept about how to do the ultimate discovery call that I can talk to you. But today we're only going to talk about how to create 3 minutes, because we all know how it goes. Whether we had some small talk, whether there's an interest, whether there's some sort of a stress, at a certain point, we need to present what we actually do. And the interesting thing is, some of us will go on a long rant. Some of us will go all out and explain everything. Some of us won't give enough information, but most of us won't control how they feel and if the pitch is exactly what we wanted it to be. And this is what we need to fix. And if we look at the concept, it's very simple. All we need to do is have about 3 minutes. And I know, if I'll tell you it's 3 minutes, some of you will say 3 minutes is not enough. Mind you, startups today have 3 minutes to pitch. And if that's not enough to convince you, here goes. 500 words is 3 minutes. Speaking English is roughly between 120 to 160 words. Not bad. 500 words is also an article in the newspaper. If you can't give me everything you need within 3 minutes, an article in the newspaper will argue that we're doing too much. And usually it will start with a good hook. We've learned that some of the things we need is to dissolve issues, to dissolve problems. What if we could go back to the emotional aspect and create a new type of a hook? What we want them to go is from, yeah, sell me, I'm listening, to what? Wait, how do you do that? This is exactly what we're looking for. And if we can do that, we can solve a lot of problems. Now I'm going to ask you to do another exercise. You will take a few minutes. And based on the book where I teach, the concept is this. The first 30 seconds have to be a grabber. They're not all over the place. In 30 seconds, which is about 70 words, I need to understand who you are. Why is this interested? What problem you are solving? 2 years ago, I got a call from a tech company building something, creating something that's amazing. The problem is people didn't understand what they were creating. And I was asked to prepare the pitch, first for investors in a competition. 8 hours later, they had to pitch. We changed everything in the story, nothing else. And the interesting thing was that they went with a good, strong hook. And they were able to explain everything in 3 minutes, winning the number one, raising funds, and today they're very successful and growing. I'm going to ask you to take a few minutes. We'll do 2 minutes at the beginning. You all know your businesses, you know the companies, you know what you do, you know how to sell, right? 70 words. That's roughly a paragraph. And if you will have to give me a good hook. Some of you have asked to talk on this session. If not, we'll pick a few and let's see if we can improve your pitch live. Take 2 minutes and have fun. That's the most important. I'll time you. Try and think what makes your company good, how you start your pitch today. If you don't know, start the way you always do. 1 minute. Should be easy for everyone. You've done this a million times. Write in the chat if you have it and if you're ready to present. And there is no right or wrong. We're going to have fun. So, see some stressed faces. Nufal, we had some people who asked from the signups, right? If they hear something. So if people are here, put in the chat and we'll call you. And if not, feel free to raise your hand. We must have one brave soul. Yes, Noam,
Yeah, I can go.
let's go.
All right. So,
So
yeah.
before you start, some clarifying things. I don't know your business. Okay. So I will say whatever I think. We'll ping pong together. I don't mean to be disrespectful. We're gonna wing it together. I've never done this before. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Great. Can you tell me, please, in one sentence, what your company does?
Yes, we bring personalization technology for B2B SaaS companies to prevent churn and increase in expansions.
Okay. If we simplify some of the words, can you tell me what you guys do?
Yeah. We
Bottom.
can we
Can you mute them somehow?
yeah. Yeah, we have a Gen AI solution that tracks the engagement B2B SaaS companies have with their clients and personalizes engagement using that data.
So you make sure they churn less?
Yep.
Okay, great. Let's move forward. Great. You see, that wasn't bad. So you want to start your pitch. How do you start today?
Today, it's quite I wrote something different because we were talking about a hook. But basically what I tell people is like when I call them and they go like, hey, we're Journeys. We prevent churn using yeah, I'm a bit blacked out. Sorry.
Hi,
Hi, my
we're
name is Noam.
Journeys.io, and we're looking for companies who want to have less churn. Is that something that's interesting for you?
Should be that simple.
It's very simple. That's what you do.
Yeah.
You told me what you do. I didn't know.
Yeah. No, whenever I call it goes something like this, like, hey, my name is Noam, I'm from Journeys. We help companies prevent churn using B2C style personalization. So companies like Netflix and Spotify, they track our usage with the product and they know what drives us. So we know how to identify.
I'm stopping you for a second. Great. If I'll ask you to write this again, and remember, circle everything that's data. In 3 sentences, I still haven't gotten anything from you. Make sense?
Yeah, okay.
So I need to understand, this is what you're going to do to me, because I can then feel this is what's going to happen. Okay. And if you went to the Netflix, I'm already thinking, oh, I'm not Netflix, I'm too small or whatever. What is the hook you want to create that grabs me? And then I want to understand, how are you going to do what you said you did?
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna restart.
Sweet. Who's going next? Thank you. Yes, Aya, please. And then then we'll do O. Aya, yes.
Hi. So we're selling NetSuite. It's a cloud finance. It really solves
all your dreams about finance. So whether you're an accountant, CFO, bookkeeper, P&L, everything you want, all your dreams can come true on NetSuite. Okay, this is an ERP solution. And why choose it? Because you can manage a lot of continents, a lot of countries, users, all your solutions and all your daily revenues can be managed with this cloud solution.
Great. Here's my question. If you start your pitch today, how would you start it?
What
First
do you
thing
mean
you tell
today?
them.
Today?
You
So-
go and you have the meeting, you have the small
Yeah.
talk, that's great. They ask,
So first,
you ask them the questions,
usually
now you need to present.
usually I ask them, what are your, constraints today? How many entities do you manage? How many people are working with you out on your world, remotely? And how do you manage your reports? How do you use the data? How do you make decisions on a daily basis? What is your DSO? How do you manage your
Wait,
cash?
we asked the questions.
Yeah.
Let's go to, I only want to focus on the 3-minute pitch. You ask the
Yeah.
question, then we need to have something that's always the same, that in the end they're interested.
Right.
Remember, your company or your product didn't change. The questions before or the clarifying questions after will be relevant for whomever is the champion, the relevant person, the key, and so and so.
Right.
How would you start explaining your company, your service?
So you've raised here a lot of constraints and aims, and I think that NetSuite can be a really good solution for you because we can demonstrate how you can resolve everything in one place. And then go on, Okay, so let's say, sorry, what? So if you want to manage your collections, this is a place. If you want to see your 10 different country cash flows, you can see it in one place.
Great. Make a list of all the features, put them somewhere else, and explain to me, what do I get out of it? You said it will make all their dreams come
Well,
true.
you
I
get
would argue
control.
that the
You have
CFO's
hands-on.
dream
You have
would be the
hands-on on
Maldives.
everything.
Yeah, it's not doing a platform, using another. So my question is, and take a moment, think about it, don't worry. But the idea is that if you can grab me the beginning, so
Sorry, the beginning of.
your 30 seconds are your chance to grab them, solve all their problems, and then you have 2.5 minutes to prove how. That's where your feature list might go in, every solution you have, and the other stuff.
Okay.
The first 30 seconds are your chance to grab me. If you give me a list of features at the beginning, I'm out. Okay?
Okay.
Sweet.
I'll think about it.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. So my pitch is like this. So I speak with a lot of CTOs of growing tech
Wait. One sentence. What does your company do?
In one sentence, we're a cloud technology partner.
Okay, and in one sentence that I can understand, I do marketing.
Fair enough. So what do? We work with tech companies to help them to better manage their cloud infrastructure. We give 3 main services: architecture consultancy, tech
Great.
support. Yeah.
So you can help me manage my cloud services better?
Pretty much.
Amazing. Great. And how would you start your pitch?
So, so I said that what we do in high level. So we help CTOs of growing tech companies that pretty much are happy with where they are on their cloud infrastructure, on their cloud journey, but sometimes they feel that it can be frustrating when it comes to managing their infra. So we offer. So I mean, there are 2 options. One, if it's on an outbound call, then I'll point out the 3 main reasons people feel frustrated and from where they are. Or if it's on a sales call, then I'll just go to what are our main services and how it's being connected to their.
Amazing. You use the word frustration.
Of course.
Great. You have a list of all the emotions that people go through?
Yeah, I do.
Great. And your pitch is written?
Yeah.
Can you read it?
Yes. So whether it's because if I go on an outbound call, for instance, because that's where
you have an outbound, read it.
Okay. So whether it's because they have a cloud partner that at the beginning was really great, but with time, they stopped hearing from them, and the only time they hear it from them, from the cloud partner, is maybe once a year. If not, maybe they don't have a cloud partner, but whenever time they feel like they need support, they stuck to solve problem by themselves and look on Google.
That's your written pitch,
Yeah.
but it's very long about a lot of stuff.
So that's the outbound call. So if it's around the sales call, then yeah, I just point out the three services that over there. Yeah, it's not about emotion. It's more about
Amazing.
the actual
So
service.
I'll give you an example. By the
Yeah.
way, I'm sorry, just for the sake of time that I'm cutting you off, so I apologize.
That's
Not
perfectly
to be
fine. I
disrespectful.
also do the same. I would do the same.
When we work with a company competing in Singapore, okay,
Yeah.
they created a biodegradable material. When they would go in, they'll explain all the stuff for the factories, why it's interesting, and so on.
Mhm.
The pitch was changed, and the hook started when we said, in today's industry, factories, whether it's pharmaceutical, I think it's pharmaceutical, manufacturing of food, okay, and beauty, in the factories, the machines will suffer from thousands of hours of downtime for cleaning. More than that, the cost of cleaning materials is highly expensive. They're not good for the environment because you have to throw them into the river. More than that, 200,000 people a year will die because of the cleaning material. Actually, clean isn't really clean.
Right. Nice.
That's our hook. Now, for 2.5 minutes, they had to explain how.
Got it.
Sweet. Thank you very much. Let's do one more and I'll keep going. Who else wants? Who's brave? Yes. Naomi. Let's go. I can't see you somehow.
Hi there. Nice to meet you. It's great to be
Nice to
here.
meet you.
Great session. I'm Naomi. How are you doing?
Good.
So I'm a salesperson. I've been doing
Can you
B2B.
speak closer to the microphone? I just can't, struggling to hear.
Is that better?
A little bit.
A little bit? Okay. So I'm a salesperson. I've been doing B2B enterprise sales for nearly 10 years. And sometimes you work with partners when you need to get a deal across the line or to generate leads. Familiar with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Or sometimes I speak with salespeople and they're very frustrated because they feel that the partnership team in their organization isn't really generating the value that they want. They're not bringing them the good partners. They're not helping them close the deals. Others say that's not an issue. It's more of a managerial thing. They have these partner programs that they invest a lot in, but they're just not seeing the ROI in it. A lot of their partners are sleepy. They're not really engaged. And they're worried because they don't know how they're going to keep the program going.
Okay.
And sometimes we also speak with CFOs, CEOs, and they say, we hate partnership people. We're just so sick of the fluff and hoping and waiting for partnerships to generate revenue and growth, and we're just not seeing it go anywhere. And they want data, they want analytics, they want insights, so we're using AI to help them get that. I don't know if any of this is something you're familiar with or you've seen.
By the way, I'll give you an example. My next book is called The Business Catcher, and it's why we're building brands the wrong way. And one of my key assumptions is the problem is not with marketing people, it's actually with the CEOs. They're so into the numbers. You've never seen a CEO at the end of they finish their term for 4 years, or they step down, or someone else comes in, or whatever happens. You'll never see them sitting in a meeting and transferring the brand book and talking about how important it is.
So
The short-term thinking. Plus, I've had a marketing agency for almost 14 years. We will usually get, right, a short brief that means nothing. Now, how do we create an emotional connection? It's a discussion for another time. I'd love to have that with you if you want, but I think it's a bit bigger than a pitching for 3 minutes. But I think it's an interesting discussion to have.
Yeah, that was my pitch. Yeah.
Good. I think, what would you like to achieve in a short pitch to harness a CEO, for example, or a sales?
Sorry, what do you mean by that?
Can you what would you like to achieve when you meet them?
Well, I'm trying to get the needs of their board and their CFO rather than their partnership team. So a lot of companies are trying to do their sales more efficiently now, and they don't want to hear the VP sales, CRO, head of partnerships come and give a lot of talk. They want to see actions, see numbers. So I need to connect with them on a level that they're not going to then push me off to that guy because he wants to hide a lot.
So you need to connect with them. The pitch needs to be connected to get the numbers.
Yes, to give the CEO the visibility, to let them see what's really going on in their organization, what they're really missing out of.
Okay. I'm struggling a bit to hear, so I'll take this offline because I'm struggling a little bit, if that's okay with you. Sweet. Thank you. I want to do something really. First of all, thank you for everyone for being brave and outspoken, and thank you for that. I want to help you do something in the next 5 to 6 minutes. I'm going to go through a list. Don't worry, if you don't have time to write everything down, we'll send it to you afterwards. If you look at your 3-minute pitch, it's 500 words. In the middle of a meeting, at any point where you decided that that's your key aspect, here are the things you need to remember. Every single thing here you can implement tomorrow in every sales call or sales meeting you have. Let's go. Less is more. And what I mean is take your pitch, transcribe it, see if it fits in 3 minutes. If it doesn't, you need to sculpture out, you need to take out the things that are not relevant to you. That is important, and it will help you create better value. You don't need to talk about everything. You just need to make sure that there's enough for them to understand. Once you did that, take a look at the structure of everything you're saying. The 3 minutes goes as follows. About 30 seconds, 70 words will be a hook. That will be your grabber. The last 10% will be your closer. Everything in the between is your paragraphs, and they have a key message and the emotions attached to it. This means you can control the whole structure of everything you do. The percentage of a paragraph, the key message, and the emotion attached. We don't need to sell everything. We just need to sell enough for them to want more. Repetition. When I told you clean isn't really clean, we repeat that 3 times. That is the one thing that I need them to understand and take away. If you don't have a structure with 3 times, you're missing out. I need a yes. Funny enough, when I say certain things, if you nod, that's a yes. It's a subconscious yes. Where in your structure do you have that yes? You need to make sure that they understand, they feel, and you're taking them on a journey when they're like, yes, it will solve my problem. This is what I want. This is what I need. If they nod, you're going the right direction. The next thing, gestures. Please, one of the key things we teach people, especially salespeople, don't do this enough. I don't know if you do, but most of them don't. Stand up. 7% is what you said. That is the spine. The rest is the nonverbal communication. My intonation, the way I move, my hand gestures, everything I can control. Remember, same facial recognitions. If I smile, you will have to smile. This is how it works. So that means you can control a lot of the things. If you go on the call and you smile, they feel happy. By the way, when we look at the 7%, part of it is what we actually didn't say, the pauses. So that is very important. Make sure you practice, and not to improvise, practice like a real stand-up comedian. Know exactly what you're going to say. And the next time we meet and ask you, how did the meetings go? You say exactly as planned. If you understand that and you keep practicing, every session we fix 3 small points. Change a word, change a phrase, add a feature, take out a feature. Every session we take 3 things and improve them. So sculpturing is not just about having less, but it's also about improving all the time in everything we have. Those things will create a very good 3-minute trailer pitch. Now, the Q&A part and the visual part. My book is called Fuck the Slides, but at the end, most people do need slides. And if you do decide to use the slides, like you saw, I'm doing different things. When you're very small in a call, I can't see your gestures and I can't see your intonation the same way. Why? Because I can just hear. Your slides are overshadowing everything you're doing instead of supporting you. Slides play 2 key roles. They support or they're a scenery. If they support what you do, they don't have a lot of information, just enough to support what you said. When people see that, yes, I understand. If not, it's not relevant. Either a scenery or a supporting role. By the way, do me a kind favor, please don't have a thank you slide at the end. Nobody fucking cares. The most important slide that stays, especially if you have physical meetings, the slide, the last one, is your winner. It's the biggest, the most important, the most expensive real estate you have during that meeting. It is the one sentence that would stay the longest, and people are actually subconsciously seeing it again. This is the message. This is what I want them to take away. Imagine, subconsciously, they could sit for 20 minutes and see that sentence. Instead, they're seeing your LinkedIn account and a thank you. Salespeople love the after when there's questions because it feels like the client is interested. There are 2 types of questions. There are clarifying questions where your client is basically trying to understand what you said. And there are intent questions. These are the ones you want. These are the questions that justify the purchase. Look afterwards, what were the type of questions that your clients asked? If they ask clarifying to understand if this is even the right solution for them, you guys have done a bad job. Lucky for you, you can fix it pretty fast. We've done quite a lot in about 55 minutes. Pitching is an art. It's about writing. It's about deciding that you're willing to commit. Writing is a commitment. Record your next session, transcribe it. I see the lists of how many AI platforms you have. Turn those into a table and make sure that you are epic in 500 words or less. The interesting thing is when I ask some of you, what do you actually do in one sentence? That is also a struggle, but that's for another time. Also try and solve in one sentence. Remember, the best storytellers are when you meet them in a bar. And when they'll ask you, what do you actually do? If they don't understand, they can't help you. Maybe they might be the next client. Maybe they know someone. It's up to you to make it simple enough for people to understand. I'm going to ask you to do me a kind favor for 2 seconds. Go on the chat and write one thing you're going to take away and implement tomorrow from this session. One thing. I'm waiting. What's your one thing? What's your one key takeaway? Great. Amazing. So for those of you who stayed, here's my offer. Scan my LinkedIn, and the first 5 who connect and send me a written story, I will reply and do a 20-minute call with you. I'll help you. Nofal, I'll bring it back to you.
So, guys, any questions for Neil? Okay, I guess not.
So Neil,
So
actually,
Neil, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
go ahead.
I have one now. Now that I think about it, Did you say what you actually do? Like your day-to-day, or I missed it? Like your actual profession?
My actual profession, I'm lucky enough to help people learn how to tell better stories to scale their businesses. I do it through marketing, branding, and sales. And I write books. I travel the world teaching. That's what I'm gonna do.
And he's coming to Israel in April. And he has
Yeah.
few available slots. So if anyone interested in Nir as a speaker for the organization, so contact Nir directly. Nir, it was inspiring session. Thanks so much. And good night. I think you should go take some rest.
I have to tell you, I made a commitment to upload 2 YouTubes a week, so I still have to edit for a few more hours. Guys, thank you so much. I hope you got at least one thing and maybe 10 things. Remember, if you start writing, it will change, and it changes very, very fast. And if you do it as a team with your sales team, you will also see the impact. It's unbelievable, and it works in every industry. Stay epic, stay safe, everyone, and I hope to see you guys in April.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Nir. Cheers.
Thank you.
A pleasure.
Thank you very much.
זה השלב שכל מי שלא זה.
בדיוק.
אתה רוצה לנקות אותנו?
האמת שאני נשארתי נטו כדי לראות מה יקרה, אבל אני...
גדול.
לך תכתוב סיפור כבר.
behind the scene.
אחלה סשן, תודה חבר'ה.
תודה.
תודה. וואי, היה מעולה בעיניי.
אני גם אהבתי מאוד.